Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Quarantine series, the Quarantine Film Series. I'm your host, Kabir Segal, coming to you live from the ATL, Atlanta, Georgia, home sweet home, where I've been quarantining. I want to welcome everyone for watching around the world. I also want to say hi to my mom and dad downstairs. Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. And to all of you. So look, Quarantine series is all about putting the spotlight on creative people, musicians, filmmakers, authors, poets. Let us we like to feature all the creative folks. These are the people that create their incredible stories, just the books, the music, and the films that entertain us and challenge us throughout this year. So we're all finding how important these creative people are, right, during quarantine. So if you can, please support the projects you learn about on this broadcast, whether it's the films or the books or the music, and make sure you also support people in your community, the local film festival or the local bookshop. Artists and audiences. We need each other during this difficult time of international pandemic. All right, so if you want to learn who will be on the show, pretty easy. Just click on my social media, subscribe, and you will learn who will be on the show, when they'll be on, and you can start preparing questions for them. Do some homework. I don't have to ask all the questions. You can ask the questions too. So drop a question in the comment field and let us know what's on your mind. No matter if you're watching live or on the rebroadcast, let us know what's on your mind. I'll try to opine to your questions. And also let us know where you are watching from. Love the international crowds. Special high five to the folks out in Southeast Asia who like to tune in. So with that, now we get to the best part of the show, where we get to meet the terrific artist. He truly is an award-winning filmmaker, doing things at the highest levels of the cinematic arts, award-winning producer, director, cinematographer, another hyphenated individual. We'll talk about a short documentary, Arjumira, which was nominated for the Best Cinematography at the Canadian Cinematography Awards. He's won several awards with his recent film at the Donny Film Awards. It's hard to read all this stuff. I need to get my eyes checked out. Let's welcome to the stage the incredible filmmaker himself, live from Toronto, Canadian in the house, Bosco da Costa. Welcome.
Hello, thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Great to have you here. Tell me first, how are you doing? How are you doing during this time of quarantine?
I guess I've had lots of time to think and go through a few projects I had in mind, go through a few scripts, think, rethink, and think again. So I had lots of time to think, and I also spent time with my daughter. It was a very good time because I had the opportunity to stay home and stay with my daughter. She was 1 year old. I guess this is like the silver lining of this whole thing that's going on. Being able to stay at home with my daughter was definitely something really, really good in the midst of all the bad things that COVID-19 brought to us.
Totally. Well, tell us a little bit about the routine, the work routine. How do you stay disciplined? How do you structure the time? Do you set aside time to work? Are you a morning person or a night person? What is that like?
I'm definitely a night person. I think I work much better at night. And of course, since I have a baby daughter, it's very tricky because I have to wake up pretty early most of the days. But I wish I had a little bit more of discipline to actually set aside like 2-3 hours of my day to work specifically on something. But sometimes it's just not possible. Like there's too much stuff going on, even in quarantine times. But I do have my own how would I say my own process, and I also have like a huge to-do list that I haven't finished. Yeah. Sometimes I procrastinate a little bit, but I shouldn't.
We all do.
Yeah.
Now I want to talk about some of your remarkable projects. Walk us through Arjumira, what the story is, how you got involved with it, why you wanted to be, because all these projects take, a significant amount of time. Why was this the one?
Yeah, for sure. So Arjumira is a short documentary. It was shot in Recife, Brazil, which is my hometown. And so it was shot in a very, very simplistic way, very small, like gear. So I shot it with a very small camera, a Sony camera, a mirrorless camera. And of course, I guess like maybe 10 years ago, wouldn't be able to shoot this film with the quality that it was shot, because now we have like almost like cinematography cameras and very small and compact cameras. And I was able to take it around and even to like dangerous locations in Recife. And it's the story of a nun who lives in downtown Recife, and she has a very unique story. It's a story that goes against 1,000 years of traditions in the Catholic Church. Of course, I will not spoil it. You have to watch it if you're curious about it. But it's a journey throughout her life, throughout her faith, and also it's a journey of love as well. And this film is also very important to me as well. It's very personal for myself. And one of my greatest challenges in this film was to portray her story in a visual way. And how would I put it? How can I put it? Basically, we have someone telling her own story, sitting down in front of a camera, and my challenge was, how do I make it visually interesting? So what I basically did was I used all the visual elements around her. So I used the church that she lives in. I used the city, and also I used her memories. So I used several photos of her childhood, and I was able to tell a compelling story through like visual assets, which was my greatest concern. How do I make it visually interesting and not just a talking head talking about her story? And I think I actually made something good, since I was nominated for Best Cinematography at the Canadian Cinematography Award. So I think that was a great accomplishment. And this film was nominated as well for the New Filmmakers Los Angeles Best Short Documentary this year. And it was also screened at the Orlando Film Festival. It was also screened in Italy. Next year, 2021, it will be screened for the first time in Brazil at the FIC Rio. And it's been a great journey so far for Arjumira.
That's great. It sounds like a beautiful project, and I'm excited for the Brazilians to see it. Have any of your friends in Brazil seen it? Has there been any early feedback from people there?
Yeah, so the people who watched it really liked it, and it's a very surprising story. You honestly have to watch it. It's really surprising. It's really how would I put it? There is a huge surprise element in her story, and I guess that's what makes everybody so attached to Arjumira's story. So it's very unique and surprising.
Yeah. Bosco, how do you choose which project to turn into a film? You're quite eclectic as a filmmaker, and you have a quite wide range of topics that you'd like to turn into your pictures. So what is that decision-making process like for you?
it has to be interesting. It has to be interesting. It has to be a compelling story. It has to be something that, like move people. And sometimes I don't know if I'll have a story or not at the end. With Arjumira, I had everything planned to like the seconds of the film before I started shooting, because I already knew the story. I already knew what I wanted to achieve before I started shooting. So pre-production for Arjumira was very, very detailed. But there's another film called Disability. I think you also have the visuals for that one as well. Disability was completely unplanned. So I had basically a camera, sound equipment, and I said, okay, I will follow you around, and it is what it is. And Disability is the story of Costantino. He's a blind man here in Toronto. And the concept of disability came when I, had this idea of, translating blindness to a visual medium, which is film. So as I thought, well, how do I translate blindness to a visual medium? So that question bugged me a little bit. And one of my biggest concerns was actually finding a blind person with an interesting story and a great personality. And I was very happy that I was able to find Constantino through a professor at Centennial College. And she introduced me to him. And after like a 10-minute talk, I knew he was the guy. So basically, my agreement with Constantino was, you're going to run your errands, you're going to have a mic on you, and I will record everything. And it was incredible. It was amazing. So we created a very, very interesting film. So Constantino is very open. He's very open about his disability. He has no filters. He will speak whatever he thinks of. So he's very natural also in front of the camera. And he has such an amazing guide dog, Abide, which is a little bit spoiled. So I guess that's also something very in the film. And sometimes you're lucky. Sometimes, magic happens and you get an amazing film. Disability, after 2-3 days of shooting, maybe if I shot it on another day with like another person, maybe I wouldn't be able to get this film. And crazy stuff will happen. I wasn't planning for snow when we selected the date for the shoot, but luckily there was snow, and it made the film like beautiful. It is gorgeous. And since he has like a disease which is called Fuchs corneal dystrophy, the snow actually helped because helped me to translate his disability to a visual medium, because since he has Fuchs corneal dystrophy, most of the time he will see lots of white stuff whenever he has a little bit of his sight. I think sometimes he has like 5 or 10% in a good day. But sometimes you're lucky and you end up with a good film.
Yeah, certainly so. I know maybe without being able to see, was he still able to experience the film, listen to the film? What did he think about the portrayal, or what did his family think about his portrayal in the film?
Yeah. So basically, the whole translation, I'm gonna use this word a lot, translation, because when you watch disability, you're not experiencing, of course, blindness. You are experiencing translation of blindness to film. So basically, what I did was I sat with Constantino, and I asked him, please tell me, how do you perceive the city around you and the people around you? So he told me, well, I can sometimes see a little bit of, outlines of people around me. Sometimes I can perceive differences in colors. And of course, my hearing is very important. So, by the noise of a car, I know if it's closed or not. By the way people, step on the ground, I know if they're coming fast or slow. So I used all the details that he told me to translate his disability to film. And we showed the film to a few people in the blind community and close to the blind community, and the feedback has been amazing so far. It's a very unusual experience for someone who sees to watch the film, because one of the ways that I found to translate his disability to film was making sure that the audience doesn't quite know the location we are filming. Everything in the film is out of focus except for Constantino and Abide. So you kind of you're transported to Constantino's world when you watch Disability. And I guess that was probably the one of the biggest challenges as a cinematographer that I've ever had, translating blindness to film. That was
certainly a challenge. It seems like you rose to the occasion. I do want to ask you before
Sure.
leave about Samba. This seems particularly intriguing to me.
Yeah,
someone who's into samba and into the music. And but tell us about why you wanted to take on this project, what it's about, and why you got involved with it.
Yeah. We're still shooting to samba, and it's about this beautiful samba, group that we have here in Toronto. And there is a good, an amazing samba scene in Toronto. And actually, myself as a Brazilian, I was surprised to find out this amazing group of people here in Toronto, miles away from Brazil, playing and dancing samba beautifully. And so the whole idea behind this documentary is, tell their stories, tell the stories of these people who were not born in Brazil. They were born in North America, but they somehow discovered samba, and samba changed their lives in some way. And of course, this is also a documentary, very visual, and of course, the music plays a very important part in this documentary as well. And we hope to wrap it very soon, maybe next year. It will all depend on the vaccine and how the COVID-19 pandemic will develop in the next few months.
Yeah, I'll certainly hope that comes to fruition. I'm very excited about this project you have in development and production. Tell us about your inspirations as a filmmaker. Who are some people you've admired throughout the years, someone you look up to?
One of them is actually here.
Of course.
Fernando Meirelles, City of God, probably one of the best films ever made. And also I have so many others, other inspirations. I guess probably one of the biggest would be Chaplin. Also Kubrick. I'm a Kubrick fan. I love also the beautiful generation of Mexican filmmakers, Iñárritu, and Del Toro. So I honestly watch everything, and of course the big ones in Hollywood as well, Scorsese. So I'm a sponge.
A good sponge, and you're making great things with your sponginess.
Yeah.
So let's get your website up there. We'll make sure everyone can find you.
For sure.
Buscoproductions.ca. There it is. So please go there to learn more about his incredible portfolio and his projects, and you can learn more about what he's up to at his website. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, that's our show today. If you want to learn who will be on the broadcast, subscribe to my social media and take care of yourself. Stuff out there. Take care of the art. It'll be there for you. Bye, everyone.